Hey, what's up, YouTube? Lawler here, as always, one-stop shop for all things Rocket League and esports related. We've got a couple roster updates for you all as we're getting closer and closer to seeing the start of the 2026 season. Pretty quiet this week, but some pretty loud announcements, kind of conflicting, so I guess it balances out. As you guys know, in yesterday's video, we talked about Redo's retirement. That's kind of the one that's taken the social media by storm. But we've got a couple others to keep you guys up to date, and the easiest way to do so, as always, if you're down in the comments, appreciate you guys. Drop some love. Say hi to Maple. She's taking a nap. But that being said, in the description, you can find a link to this document that has all the updates. We try to update it as frequently as possible, or you can stop by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. It's ! RLCS rosters in the chat. And while you're in the document, if you want to drop a follow on all the social platforms, I'd greatly appreciate it. But with that said, let's start with the first one. We're going to go real quick through these. It has to do with one that happened tail end of last week with a little bit more insight happening as well. Shift reporting, obviously with Gen G potentially bringing in Rise, Magic Bear, Justin as conversation with Gen G. So a lot of us are like, well, what does that mean for Cheese? We've looked at our roster document and tried to put together a bunch of different, like, what could free agents be? How could things form? What would that look like? And the difficulty with that is, if Cheese is to be a restricted free agent, which means he's still under contract with Gen G, that means that someone needs to buy out his contract. Otherwise, he is in contract jail. He's going to be sitting on the bench with reduced pay from Gen G and just has to kind of wait and see, which has proved to be detrimental for some people's careers. That being said, this conversation of him joining Sosa, who was with Virtus Pro, who I think has done an immense job of improving his own stock and value when he was with that roster, proving he can hang and be assertive and be a difference maker. Coming back to North America, he's been removed. He's been playing in Malaysia. He's been not at home for quite a while, so I'm sure he misses it. So probably settling back in Canada, trying to find a team that's local. And it seems to be rumored to be with Cheese and Frosty, pending Cheese if they can find a buyout. Latest rumors and conversations are that Foot, the team from the SSA region that is now no longer after they released the Europeans with VK and all those guys, is potentially going to pick them up. That is a big maybe. We do not know. But if you're trying to stay involved in the space, a good way to do it is one buyout instead of three. And if you got some free agents, we also know Frosty, although very talented, does come with a little bit of baggage. So will this team be successful? Will it be another one that can go and compete in North America? We'll have to wait and see. Either way, we are going to be seeing a lot of very interesting teams form here in the next week or two in North America based upon the amount of free agents and tryouts that are going on. So again, just as a reminder, these are rumors. These are not official. There is still a possibility that these three start doing scrims and they feel more comfortable with a different player. Maybe they slot one other players in as they try to try in different iterations. We do not know. We'll have to wait and see on that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. There's a lot of different iterations that are going to be trying out. So again, nothing official, but if that is the piece of how things are going to go, the conversation, like Court is asking, Rise is rumored to go with Justin and Magic Bear on Gen G, former teammate in Cheese, potentially with Sosa and Frosty. And the only other one, we've been talking about what is happening with some of these LFT players as well. Mozzarella was the first one to say he was LFT and no longer with BSK roster. So Mozzarella went LFT first. We then saw Rusty Z rumored to be trying out with some different high-profile players as well. I think with like Seiko and like GK and some of the mates people, if I remember correctly. Again, it was a while ago. I'd have to go back and look at the document. But one player that we haven't heard about is Astral. Astral's obviously been playing with like Caliente and different iterations of some of the OG vets with like Sizen and stuff. But it looks like French organization that I can't say I'm familiar with. It seems to be the default that a French organization is interested in Rocket League. If you guys know more about Game World, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have any insight on them, I'll probably do a little bit of homework after this video and kind of see what they're about. But it talks with Astral, Mozzarella, and Rusty Z95, which I don't necessarily think is a bad idea. You've got two up-and-comers, two talented players. You pair that with a veteran who's been there, done that. Obviously, there's this narrative about Astral and the kind of conversation about him as a player. But if you have players that can work with him, the LAN experience, the ability to talk in your native language, all that stuff is there. So Astral's still plenty talented. We just haven't seen him at that high tier, but we have seen him compete in high-profile competitions, even in the past couple of years, and proven that he can still be viable. So interested to see on how this one plays out. The only one that would be out of the picture is Pisky, also known as Whiskey Drink was the original roster name. So maybe a slight iteration, maybe bringing in a veteran talent helps bring them that next level. We're still waiting to see what happens with BDS, with Nico and those guys, whether it is going to be a joining of the other 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, and getting rid of the Bruv and bringing in Nico instead, and just going 3 Danish players. We don't know. So still a lot of moving parts, still a lot of conversation to have, but a pretty quick one here for you guys. As we hear more, again, I will let you guys know to the best of my ability. Probably not going to be as many daily updates right now, as things are kind of just seeing how things form. But if you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on it, hit like, subscribe, notifications, drop the follows, join the Discord, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Money